Be strong.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Amateur Otaku channel. This is the first video of 2025, actually. So yeah, welcome back to the channel, and hopefully you guys had a great holiday and a happy new year. We have some exciting winter anime to talk about today, but before I get into that, let's talk to some of our panelists, starting with Isaac. How's it going, Isaac?
Exhausted, and thank you, Dr. Pepper, for existing.
Yeah, shout
Okay.
out Dr. Pepper. Please sponsor us. help Isaac continue to be on the show late at night. But Didge, how's it going for you?
It's going good. I am also tired.
Need a
Thank
Dr.
you.
Pepper.
I'm just drinking water and a little green tea.
Mhm.
Green
Shout
tea
out
is
green tea.
also nice.
Green tea, give us a sponsor. No, I'm just
Just
kidding.
to drink green tea in general.
Every drink, water, green tea, Dr. Pepper, we'll take anyone. But yeah, I'm glad to hear
Just not
that.
honey.
You know, I'm glad to hear that things are going for y'all. At least y'all are still breathing, and that's something to be celebrated.
Oh yeah,
even if you're tired.
things are going good. It's just sleepy.
Yeah, no, I definitely felt that. I almost took a nap before this podcast, and I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Otherwise, I'm not going to be here. So um, here we are.
I get you.
But I know what will wake us up besides the Dr. Pepper, the green tea. It's talking about some of the top winter anime coming this year in 2025. So we want to start off with an anime that actually premiered today was Solo Leveling Season 2. So I'll throw it over to Isaac to kind of dig into that.
This current season, as the press release said, is A1 is back with Solo Leveling Season 2. They say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but that's not the case for the world's weakest hunter, Sung Jin-woo. After being brutally slaughtered by the monsters of a high-ranking demon, Jin-woo came back with a system, a program he can only see, that levels him up in every way. Now he inspired to discover the secrets behind the powers and the dungeon that spawned him. And as someone that, like I said in the first impression type of deal, this is if you like the action of the previous season, you will love the second season. I dare argue, especially what I assume is the latter half of the season, because the arc, also going back to the whole thing, that makes me suspect that they are doing it's for the trailer that they had in, you know my horror spiel on the Video Game Awards, but which is, as far as I know, a fan favorite source material in general. As far as I can notice, I can be wrong. It would have been good thing to have AJ here, but so that's what I mean. But if you like the action and all those, yes, you will love this one if they do it properly. And I do hope, because this is something that the anime did great, is that something that the manga suffer from is that they don't have proper pauses. There is stuff that you would like to have them fill in, just give some proper spotlight for other people kind of deal. Hopefully they're doing this in the same season, and judging by some of the scenes in this episode that isn't in the manga, that gives me hope.
We love some hope.
We do. Opium is great.
Opium is great.
It's a powerful thing.
Indeed. And that's pretty much it of what I have to say about it. But you guys still looking forward to season 2 of Solo Leveling, or how was your anticipation about it? I can ask.
You want to go ahead, Jamie, since I already started with the obviously the look back or the first look.
Yeah, because I probably will have less to say since you've seen the first episode of the new season. As far as anticipation for this season, I did put it out there that I was like, I'll be watching the show, but I'm like, I didn't know what to expect because of all of the weird pacing decisions I felt that they made with season 1. So I'm glad to hear that season 2 seems to be off to a good start. And overall, even with the pacing issues aside, I still really enjoyed the show for what it was. It's definitely, I know Sword Art Online is like a forbidden show that we don't talk about here too much.
Go on.
But
You can do that.
I enjoyed the first season of that show. I think it's the second season where everybody starts to fall off. But this Solo Leveling kind of gives me the same kind of feeling as far as like someone being immersed inside of a game world, except it has its own unique twist to it. So like you already have me there with the premise by itself. I'm really curious to see, I guess, just kind of how everything is going to come together at the end, because obviously he has like the goal of like trying to like help his family out. I Is his mom sick? I
Yeah.
His mom is
Yeah.
sick and his dad has disappeared.
Yeah, so it's like, there's obviously a lot going on in Jenwoo's life, so I'm curious as to how he's going to use like his newfound power and I think wealth as well to kind of change things in his life, and will it kind of be for the betterment of his character or for the detriment, because sometimes people be power tripping. So I'm really curious to see how the journey kind of goes out, but yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm excited. I didn't have any of the pacing issues I felt like that you had, and I know you said AJ did too. I think it's because I was sort of just like, anime they be hitting you with those cliffhangers.
They do,
And
yep.
so I was just like, well, I guess it's par for the course. So I was very impressed with last season. I don't think it was a perfect anime by any means, so I can understand that some people had drawbacks and everything, but even watching the first episode of this season, like I was locked in, ready to go, and my hype only, I won't say it grew with it, because it's just like, all right, yeah, this is more of the same. I'm liking what we're doing, for better or worse, obviously. You if you would have heard me say, oh yeah, it's more of the same, I can understand you would have been a little bit more weary. So I think if you like the high points of last season, you'll definitely be happy with where it's going. And you know what? By the time this comes out, you've probably already seen the first episode. Let us know how you like it.
Yeah, put it down in the comments.
Right.
Agreed. And then we have the second one on the list, because I assume you don't have anything else to mention.
No, I don't.
Well, next one on the list is Sakamoto Days, which is an interesting one. And I just want to ask before I go on, do you guys know anything about Sakamoto Days?
No,
I read one chapter.
I was continuously told to read it, and then by the time I was actually about to sit down and read it, the adaptation got announced, and I was like, yeah, just wait then.
See, I kind of same. Except it was in one of I think the very first manga sampler that I got from Viz, and I read it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And then I did not get the Viz app until like literally last year, and by that point they said Sakamoto Days was going to be an anime. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just I'll wait for that. So I've read one chapter exactly.
Okay, so that's pretty much your knowledge about it, and from you guys, that is.
Yeah, this blurb that we got from the press release is the most I know about this series.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through the blurb then, and then I can talk a little about it. According to Netflix, Sakamoto Days, written and illustrated by Kyoto Suzuki, is a hit manga currently serialized Asia Weekly Shonen Jump since 2020. Followed the action-packed story with the legendary ex-hitman Taro Sakamoto as he bands with his comrade to face off against the looming threat of assassins to ensure a peaceful life with his beloved family. And you know what's funny about the whole thing of Sakamoto Days?
What's that?
It's the fact that this is we had way back. I don't think you were a part of the team then, Jamie. Episode, me and Mike, that we talked about mangas that should get an anime. It was way back, and this was one of them that we put in. And another one was Vigilantes. Brandon had Zoom. I had Sakamoto, and the only ones that haven't gotten an anime yet is Tokyo Underground and exorcist fall in love. So who knows? Maybe the list is getting filled soon. So, but I digress. And this is when I spoke about it during that video, is that I compared it to John Wick in that imagine John Wick if he got retired, had a happy life, he got a family, and his wife and kids actually survived. Yet he got involved into the hitman scene yet again, and he, and he lives in a world where, well, you can kind of say that they have superhuman abilities because there are some that is more stronger than others in a very inhuman fashion, without going into spoilers. And it's one of the most fun action comedy shows that I have read in quite some time, and the interaction between him and his friends are fucking hilarious. And not to mention people just, well, who is this guy that I haven't met him and don't think he is a someone due to his, well, how he looks like right now, which is kind of fun about. Oh shit. So I want to say this: if you like action comedies, and if you're a fan of John Wick, check this out. That's something I can certainly say. With that said, how are your anticipation level for Sakamoto Days?
I would say for me, it's decently high. This is for sure one of those ones, like you said, how you and Mike had an episode where you guys were talking about it was one of the most anticipated that you wanted to have an adaptation. I feel like it was consistently on lists like that. Like the amount of people who I know who have read or just have experienced it in some form or fashion, and I've been like, man, wait till it gets an anime adaptation. Wait till it gets that anime adaptation. It's gonna be one of those ones. It's like you have to have some expectation because of that. Like enough people are talking about it, but because again, this blurb is the most that anybody's ever given me about this because it's always been you just got to read it. You just got to see it for yourself. I've at least now can understand what I would be getting into, and it sounds really interesting. So I'm definitely excited. I was just looking up actually to see when it actually comes out. I know obviously it's a winter one, but I don't know the date.
Next Saturday?
Yep, next Saturday.
As of time of recording.
Correct.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, having some experience with it and kind of knowing what the general premise is, I'm kind of curious, like, will this be a like somewhat of a comfort anime? I don't totally know. Because I feel like it might be likened to, I guess, Spy Family in a way, because it's like, there's still spy things, there's still action. I feel like there might be more action in Sakamoto Days than in Spy Family, just because I guess a greater family element when it comes to Spy Family. But yeah, I'm wondering if it will give me less like the same kind of like, oh, this is like my cozy or like comfort anime. Because I've seen a lot of like really just like cute, silly things about Sakamoto Days, but I also know like they can like get into it when it comes to like the different like enemy spies that try to mess with let's see, what was the protagonist's name?
Taro
Sakamoto. Like, yeah, his kid. I don't know what it's Sakamoto Days. Whatever. Y'all know I'm crazy. Anyway, but yeah, when it comes to like people trying to mess with Sakamoto's family, I know that he can get like very serious and kind of reach back into like his hitman days and take care of some people. So yeah, I'm curious like how they're gonna balance that, if it's gonna be like more cozy than and like a little bit of action, or if it's kind of gonna be an equal match between like the coziness and the action. Since yeah, I've only read one chapter, so I've seen a bit of both so far, so I have no idea.
I hope the explanation was a good pitch for it, at least.
Yeah, like I said, between this, hearing you talk about it, I've heard AJ talk about it many and many of times.
Yeah.
So many of the other manga readers that I know have all talked about it. It seems like, again, it's one of those ones that so many people are so excited for. And for their sakes, I hope that it lives up to it. For me, I'm just going to be going into it blind. Like, I don't have anything to compare it to. But for the people who have read the manga, I sincerely hope that it lives up to that, because there's nothing worse than loving a manga and
Oh
an
yeah.
anime adaptation.
Promise Neverland. Promise
Oh
Neverland.
my god!
Oh fuck that season 2.
So I really do hope for their sake, and obviously for me and Jamie as well, because we're new to it.
Yeah.
That it is great.
I will say I feel like Netflix is putting a lot of support behind it as far as like trying to promote it and get people to know more about it. While I was at Anime NYC last year, there was like a little Sakamoto Days booth where you can like take a picture as if you're behind like the convenience store counter.
Oh, that's cool.
And like other little interactive things just to kind of get to know more about like the vibe of the show and the world. So I'm hoping that's a good sign, you know?
Yeah,
Hoping that's a
yeah.
good sign and a sign of confidence.
By the looks of it, we are all looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be one of my animes to watch.
That is true. I just actually went on Netflix and told it to remind me, so that way it'll send me a notification when it drops.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Jamie, shall you give the word, this mic to Digital?
It is time to talk about my most anticipated anime of January. I didn't know this was specifically of January. I'm gonna be honest. I went through that whole list, and this might be of the stuff that's like new, because there's some returning things that are definitely I'm more excited for.
Okay, I was gonna be really intrigued.
No. Of the things that are new,
Okay.
I may be a good receptionist, but I will solo any boss to clock out on time. I'm not gonna lie. The name already had me intrigued.
Yeah.
The name itself, I was like, I got to see more about this. Then we got the synopsis from the press release, and Cloverworks, who you would know from Spy Family, Promise Neverland, The Good and the Bad, unfortunately, and The Elusive Samurai, which I really like. So,
Elusive Samurai's fire.
So they've done all three of those. They're delivering us another fantasy anime where Alina, they didn't say her name in the trailer either, where she thought she had the perfect job as a guild receptionist. It was stable, safe, and she has a super cute uniform. But it turns into an overtime nightmare, because whenever adventurers get stuck clearing a dungeon, she has to do the paperwork afterwards. So, tired of the long nights, Alina starts taking down the bosses herself. She even earns the name Executioner for her impressive skills. Can she keep her identity a secret? Because guild receptionists can't take a second job. And let me tell you, the trailer was so much fun. I love fantasy anime. It's probably my second favorite genre. Sports is number one. I'll go out on a limb and let you know right now. But I love fantasy anime because much of the reasons why I like sports anime, fantasy anime does the same, where tied under the fantasy genre, you get comedy, you get action, you get love, you get, slice of life, you get all types of things. You can already see like the funniness in this trailer. Like, obviously during the day she's the receptionist, so she's dealing with all typical of the like people who come up to the guild receptionist, like all the things that she has to deal with. And then at night you get the action, because she's like, this is taking too long. Yeah, you guys aren't killing this boss. And even in the trailer, I don't even know where that is in the trailer, but like she steps in the trailer and like they're like, yo, you have to leave, this boss is too powerful. And she's like, you're causing me to have to do overtime. Does her magic transformation, pulls out her big weapon, takes the boss, and they like, who is this? She killed this boss. Like, who is it? She leaves because she's like, I need to get home. I don't want to do this. I don't want to put in more hours.
Yeah.
And as someone who doesn't want to do extra work, that spoke to me on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
So, I'm really excited for this anime. Comes out next week. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer. I don't know if this synopsis.
I did not, but
I haven't.
I did not, but you made me curious to watch.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
it was such a fun trailer.
Low key, it makes me think of like Soul Leveling a little bit, with like her just like going into the dungeon secretly, like trying to keep her identity on the low.
Yeah, it was
I can
funny.
see that.
I had never thought, like, you do realize, like, obviously now there's fantasy anime that, like, the guild receptionist is truly only the receptionist. And it's like, well, yeah, what do you do on your time? So it's, like I said, it's interesting to me.
Yeah, that seems fun. I'll have to put it on my list.
Yeah, it comes out, I
Yeah,
think, next Saturday as well. So
Yeah,
next week will be a big
Saturday's gonna be
anime
busy.
week.
Yep, it's gonna be a busy day this
Yep.
this winter.
yeah, it will be a busy winter day.
Yeah, if nobody else had anything else to say about oh my god. I
Just
may
call
be
it
a
guild
guild
receptionist.
I
That's all.
haven't said I will say it, the full thing once on
Okay,
this
okay.
channel. It'll be documented. After that, I'm not doing it again.
I'm gonna get a little button next time I need to say it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's funny. But yeah, if no one else has anything to say about I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time, we can move on.
I have nothing else.
All right. Well, the next show that we wanted to highlight, and this was actually a recommendation from Mike himself, was Zenshu. And I think this will definitely be one to look out for. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it or not, but I'll just read the blurb from the press release and we'll get the ball rolling. So, after high school, Natsuko Hirose started her career as an animator and quickly rises to be director. Her first anime is a huge hit, earning her recognition as an up-and-coming genius director, but her next project isn't going as well. It's a romantic comedy, but she's never been in love before. Struggling to grasp the concept, Natsuko can't create the storyboard, bringing production to a standstill. So, Mappa, the studio behind Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, and Chainsaw Man, bring Kimiko's Ueno's next story to life, and she's worked on Decision Dungeon and Rama One Half, the 2024 remake. So a lot of big things going on, a lot of big names, and curiously enough, this is somewhat of a topic that we've kind of been somewhat discussing the past couple of months with kind of getting a somewhat behind the scenes look behind like making manga and making anime and things like that.
I have to say, it feels ironic that Mappa of all studios is making an anime based on a life of an animator.
Yeah, I had like a few little notes, and one of my notes, similar to what you were saying, Isaac, it is interesting that Mappa would be the one in charge of this anime, but it also might be that because of like, the both public and private struggles that they've had, they might be the most qualified to speak to Natsuko's struggles in this show. So
this might
I
also
don't
be
know.
somebody's cry for help.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be that as well.
Did you see that whole walkout during this latest season of JJK? I mean,
That's what I'm
animators
saying.
storm out from
Like this might be. Do you never see this girl's face? I'm
So-
watching the trailer off to the
Yeah,
side right now. By the way,
when I was watching the trailer, like I don't remember ever seeing her face. I feel like you have to see it at some point. But yeah, no, she pretty much keeps her face hidden for most of the time that I've seen in the trailer. So
at one point she took her hood off and like it rotated. I thought, oh, okay, we're gonna see her face now. No,
yeah, she just always has like her hair in front of her face. I guess I don't know. It definitely gives you like an idea of what kind of character she might be, being like the kind of like shy, reserved, but like very into her work kind of person. So I'm wondering if as we get more or progress through her journey, if maybe like she'll start to like move a couple hairs or two until we finally get to see her face by the end of the show.
No, it does. It looks really interesting just from watching the trailer.
Yeah.
Obviously with it on mute. I like it. One of your notes that you had here is that the animation looks gorgeous, and I 100% agree with that. Like that was the first thing I think that stuck out to me. It was like, oh, this looks great. Even like, especially when they go into, I'm assuming these are the different stories that she directed. I'm curious to how that goes, like what that and goes into the story. Like, will you go into those worlds as she sort of tries to figure out things about her life? And you learn those lessons through the different anime that she's worked on. So I feel like this has a lot of potential to do some cool stuff.
So what's interesting about this show, and something you don't necessarily get from watching just the I think most recent trailer, either that or the first trailer, because I watched 2 or 3. And after watching 2 or 3, you kind of get a better understanding of, I guess, what the structure of the show is going to be. So
Okay.
it's basically, it's kind of like Look Back, which if you haven't seen our review of Look Back on the channel, definitely be sure to check that out. Won't spoil it here, but it is about like the process of making manga and anime. So it's kind of like that, but for Zenshu, also an isekai. So basically,
Yeah,
Natsuko.
I didn't get any of that from this first trailer.
Yeah.
I'm on the very first trailer, by the way.
So basically, what happens to Natsuko, and I assume this is all within the first episode since these are all in the trailers, but Natsuko passes out from exhaustion because she constantly, like, anytime somebody wants to check, brings her a storyboard to check, she's like, okay, yeah, this is trash. I'll just do it myself. So she has all this work that she needs to do, and she eventually collapses because she, she hasn't been resting, eating, drinking, probably all of those things. And so when she wakes up, she's like, oh my God, like, am I dead? And she realizes that she woke up in like one of her favorite childhood anime that inspired her to get into the anime industry. So I think this story is not necessarily like her jumping into her own show, although we might see that at some point. I think it's kind of like her falling back in love with the anime medium and maybe also falling in love with a character in there, maybe, possibly. But yeah, this is definitely an isekai that, and you would not have got that from the first trailer.
I got none of, and I don't know if it would have changed if I had it on with sound, but it had subtitles. None of that gave me any.
Yeah,
of that.
no, not at all.
And
So
this is definitely a cry from help from the mappa animators.
yeah, yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is. It's
I mean, just listen to the premise.
No, the premise.
And this storyboard says, shit, I'm doing this myself. Passing out, waking up. Am I dead?
yeah. And then what's also interesting is, like, since I'm learning Japanese, like whenever I hear like a word that I don't know, I'm like, oh, I'll have to Google this. So Zenshu, the title of the anime, the meaning behind that is basically like do it all over again. Yeah, so it's kind of, I guess, like Natsuko's philosophy for for how she wants to do her shows was just like, oh yeah, just do it all over, or I'll do it myself. Like, I'll redo it. So I'm wondering if this show will kind of, at the end of it, I don't know if she wakes up right where she started, or maybe she'll have like sort of a second chance kind of thing to do some things maybe a little bit differently. This is just pure speculation on my part. I don't know anything.
Right.
I was like, maybe that could be something that happens if you do it all over again in that sense. But no, yeah, she's definitely doing all those frames over again in those trailers for sure. that is for certain. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
And
it'll be a
when
good one.
When does it come out?
Sometime in winter. I
Yeah,
actually didn't write that part down.
I was watching the trailer. First episode is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh my God. So yeah, by the time this,
I thought it was a movie.
it's a show.
Okay.
Yeah, it says series.
Oh my gosh. Well,
now what time tomorrow? I'm
Yeah,
trying
let's
to
say
look and see
tomorrow.
if it says.
I'll
Where's
have to add it to my list so I don't forget.
Crunchyroll's website usually has like that timing thing. Here we go.
They do? I haven't never found it.
Oh, on the
Yeah,
poster.
they have a release calendar thing where it has every day. Oh, they don't have a Sunday schedule yet.
There's a lot of stuff happening right now, so they might be.
Yeah, only reason I was gonna say is theoretically it said 1/5 Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That's today for us because how far apart, depending on what time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let me check then.
Well,
it's not out right now. I will say I already looked.
Weird.
I guess what we can say for certain is that this new series will definitely have premiered by the time you see this. So definitely be sure to check it out. I will say on the poster, you can see one eye. So her face is like, it's still obscured, but you can see one eye.
Oh, can you? Let me go back to
She's got a nice aquamarine eye.
Oh yeah, to your point, maybe it does as she feels more confident and
yep.
you start seeing the face.
it did seem like there were some flashback scenes to when she was younger, and we might get to see her face more then, and then just as an adult, she kind of like becomes a little bit reclusive. But I don't know. But yeah, definitely an interesting one to keep your eye out for, everybody. If there's no other thoughts or comments about Zenshu, we can move on to our last anime for our top 5 list for winter of this year.
I have actually another thing to add when you are done with that. But we can start with the one, yeah, the last on the list.
Okay. Anything for you, Didge?
No, I was still trying to find the time. I was hoping I would find it by the time we got there.
No
No.
worries. Yeah, no worries.
Oh, I do. I lied. It says 9:15
9:15 a.m.
tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Pacific time. So noonish for you, 11ish for me here in the Central Time Zone. Isaac, that should probably be like 6ish for you.
Yeah, episodes usually releases 6 p.m. here, 6:07 p.m.
There you go.
All right. Well, this doesn't matter for anybody that's watching this, but for us, we're excited to see that. But yeah, on to our last anime. I'm not sure who can connect with me on this one, but if not, I'll carry the torch by myself. We have Dr. Stone, Science Future season 4. I think 3, 4. Okay. I was sucking myself out. But yeah, I somewhat mix match this synopsis. So some of it is from the press release, some of it is like a little bit of a recap from season 3, because I know like it was definitely helpful for me trying to remember everything that's happened in the series. So I hope it will be helpful for other people as well. But yeah, several thousand years after a mysterious phenomenon that turned all of humanity to stone, the extraordinarily intelligent, science-driven boy Senku Ishigami awakens. Senku makes up his mind to use science to rebuild the world. So in season 3, Senku and crew set sail for Treasure Island, an island where Senku's dad left behind a treasure box containing platinum, which will help Senku make revival fluid. So that kind of helps everybody break out of the stone. So Senku and his crew free the island's people from a tyrannical ruler who weaponized petrification, but cannot find Y-Man, the villain that turned all of humanity to stone. They do intercept a message from him, though, and determine that he is on the moon. So Senku and his team prepare for space travel in season 4. And TMS Entertainment, the studio behind Undead Unluck, Blue Box, and Sakamoto Days, actually, will bring us the finale of Riichiro's Inagaki's story to a close. Mr. Inagaki is also known for making Eye Shield 21. I've personally never heard of that, but I saw a lot of people talking about it very excitedly on Reddit, so I'm sure it's probably good. Yeah, I'm super hyped for this. This is the series finale of the show, and I can honestly say I don't feel like I've seen another anime like Dr. Stone that really digs into like the science behind like how things work and trying to implement them in a somewhat realistic way. I will say it kind of got away from us in season 3. We went from like making like bread to building motorboats, and I'm like, I don't know how we got here. But you know what? I'm cool with it. We still got some of the science kind of behind it. And I would say for anybody that has not started the show, but wants to, I guess, get a recommendation of like what it could be close to, I would say it's if Bill Nye was turned into an anime, but also he had to like do all the science experiments himself. Like, I don't know, it's just really fun and educational to me. I'm like a big science person. Science is my favorite subject in school, so I love that. There's the drama of it, since there's literally kind of going back to the Stone Ages, with how there will be different factions of people and different villages that don't interact or mess with each other. Like, there's not a trading system yet. So Senku is like reintroducing all these ideas to people and like trying to help bring the world together. And if like, they don't want to be a part of it, he is totally fine with excluding them as well, which is so interesting to see. Because like, sometimes you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's So yeah, there's a lot to love about this show, and I'm excited to see the series finale. I'm trying to see like, is there anything else on my notes I feel like I should mention? There's also a little bit of a time travel element in the sense that obviously, like, you know, this show pushes you back to the Stone Ages, and then as technology progresses you kind of see them go through an industrial evolution, like go through all these different things, which is interesting to see. But there's also kind of flashbacks to different characters, or yeah, technically flashbacks to like what their life was like in the modern day when they were like an expert at XYZ. And that's another thing I like about the show too, is like Senku, he's like a really smart guy, but he also realizes like you can't do everything by yourself. So he has brought a chef onto the team to help like make everybody food so that way the group can continue to grow. He's brought like a pilot and like a sailor so that way they can continue like to expand their reach across the globe. So yeah, I'm excited to see like how the hell they'll get to space. I still don't know how they're gonna manage that, but yes, Dr. Stone is an incredible show. If you haven't seen it, haven't started it, highly recommend it, especially if you like science. I think you'll get a kick out of it. But yeah, that's my spiel on Dr. Stone.
I need to restart my watch of it. I only seen part of season 1.
I've seen seasons 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know season 3 came out. I swear, I feel like my brother told me that because my brother, he watches it. So I'm sure he's gonna be really excited to hear this. He might have told me, and I would, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I haven't. I gotta watch. I still gotta watch season 3. I didn't know this season was getting split into 3 cores. That's a lot.
I didn't know that either. That is a lot.
That's what to be fair, I was looking to see when season 3 came out because I was like, how did I miss an entire season? And yeah, it says it here on the Wikipedia for it. Yeah, that it's apparently split across 3 cores.
I could kind of see that though, because I guess slight spoilers for season 3. I'll try not to. Actually, this isn't too crazy, but at the end of season 3, they come to the conclusion that they need to get sweet corn so that way they can continue to make more food for all of the people that they continue to gather into their like little nation of sorts. So they are going to go to America. And I'm like, okay, I feel like that's achievable. That's still like Japan is not very close to America, so that's still going to be a trek on its own. But
Right.
then how do you go from, okay, we made it to America to, okay, we're building a rocket ship in one season? I feel like that was going to be kind of a lot. So if it's in 3 cores, I could see how they could do that, because if each core is like pretty sizable, like they'll definitely have enough time to kind of get them up to space to see what's going on with Y-Man. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you guys, y'all
I'm
gotta
gonna
get on, gotta get back on it.
it's not even I was uninterested. I was interested in the first 2 seasons. Like it was great. And then I don't know what happened. I really don't.
Got hit with that petrification.
Right.
Yeah. But no, definitely it's one of my favorite anime. It's definitely gonna be one of my favorite anime of this season. So can't recommend it enough. Please do check it out, support it. I was trying to think. I'm like, will they do a spinoff after this? I don't know if they would. I don't know if you can. But yeah, so this is probably going to be it after the season's over.
Well,
So,
I mean, there's 3 of them, so you got a while.
yeah. So get to watching, everybody. Catch up. But yeah,
I'll
that's
add it to the list.
That's all I have for y'all, though.
I have one thing before we go, and I did a little experiment, and I actually asked people on social media about what their most anticipated was, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I got from 2 questions, and one from Etheria Ace, that was Fate's Strange Fate, and Sakura Diary Season 2. I know Strange Fates Episode 1 is already out, but I haven't gotten around to watch it yet. And I wonder, have any of you guys seen any of these? I know Fate's Strange Fate's Day, and it's just it's a doozy to get into, but
it's too convoluted. I never knew where to start, so I just gave up.
Yeah, I I think I was watching Fate Zero. I don't know what I was watching. It was something Fate related, and I was from the first episode. I was asking my brother, "What is happening?" So I I definitely need to give another shot because people always say like it's really good. It's just I think the barrier to entry is higher than you would have expected it to be.
I could tell you, I had to go look, 'cause I could tell you which Fate I watched like 4 episodes. I was so confused. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I finally, sucked it up to ask somebody, and it was like, you like three series in. You need to go back. But they didn't know which one was the first one. Then they said there were some games involved, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's fair. I started with it was like Fate Zero or something like that. And it's technically the beginning, but then it still doesn't tell you everything. And I'm like,
See?
how am I supposed to know
That's what I'm saying.
this? So I don't know. Yeah. Fate fans, please help us in the comments.
Yeah, if you can tell me a
Yeah.
starting point, because I was enjoying, but I didn't understand the story or anything. But I was enjoying what I was seeing.
Yeah.
I know
It was-
AJ is a Fate's fan, so maybe we can ask him.
Yeah, it was
But-
Fate Unlimited Blade Works, which
Oh.
again don't know where that is in the story, but it was.
I've heard Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night, so that one, yeah, I don't know. That one's definitely that's somewhere.
Well, to be
else.
fair, it is Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works.
Oh, okay. I
Couldn't
yeah,
tell you,
I
Jamie.
don't know. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
And another one I got was from Mark Griffiths is very much looking forward to Solo Leveling Season 2 and possibly the greatest alchemist of all time, which was also supposedly an isekai, according to him, which is summoned to Milgard Iruma Takumi's dream of quiet life is shattered by his powerful alchemy skills, is according to IMDb of what I can find.
The greatest that sounds so familiar. Oh, possibly the greatest. Yeah, that's on my watch list.
That's the two I got. I just figured if we want to get more people involved, we might as well start asking on social media.
Yeah, the first episode of that comes out Wednesday, so I don't know if it's out. I don't know if like it started last week or anything. It did. It started last week.
Oh,
so I might watch that after this,
and then watch Dr. Stone.
I'm 2 seasons behind.
Listen, you have about a week, I think. You can do a lot in a week.
Do you know how much stuff I have to still watch?
Listen, something's got to be prioritized, and I think it should be Dr. Stone. I would just throw my hat in the ring.
That might be a little biased from you.
I mean, it's absolutely biased, but it's great.
I start Dr. Stone as soon as you start Metaphor. Deal.
I don't know why you keep acting like I'm not going to play the game. I don't have my console.
Yeah, but I'm just wanting to push you to start it. ASAP.
I'm going to start it.
I got nothing to do with me. Y'all have fun with
me. But yes, please.
But yeah, those were the only question I got. The comments I got.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for sticking through to the end. We appreciate you guys. And yes, we would love to interact with you guys some more. So if you have some anime that we did not cover on this list that you think should be in the top 5 for winter of 2025, definitely let us know down in the comments below. And for any of the anime that have just started or going to be getting started, like Solo Leveling, like Zenshu, or even Sakamoto Days happening next week, definitely let us know how you're feeling about some of those shows. And if you want maybe like a first impressions, first preview for the rest of them too, because we would definitely be down to do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. And Isaac, where can the people support you if they want to see more from you?
Well, you can find me at Emblemaniac, where the handle is on. You can find me at Emblemaniac.bsky plus social on Blue Sky. I'm still on Twitter for a bit. but not as much on Twitter on at Emblemaniac, and we're the pod as of right now has still a Twitter account, although I'm going to do my best to migrate that one to Blue Sky also. So, and that's pretty much it. And well, I'm gonna try and start finding time to write again with on the Wolf Rights, and well, that's about it as of right now. I have some other projects going on, but it just takes some time.
Yeah,
I get that.
it's understandable. Definitely. We'll stay tuned. We'll stay tuned on those projects. But Didge, where can the people find and support you?
You can find me at DidGe, that is DIDGE underscore DEE on all locations. There is no underscore on Blue Sky and Threads.
I think on YouTube there's no underscore.
According to Jamie, there's no underscore on YouTube. I'm gonna go with she's probably right. I think Twitter might have been the last place that still had the underscore, to be honest. But honestly, if you just search Didge, I'm usually the first thing that pops up. So go ahead with that. Yeah, CES is this week, so there should definitely be some stuff on my personal page. Just some of the tech things that I like, and then follow the podcast, Geek Set Podcast, on all social medias. I know there are no underscores for there. Even on Blue Sky, there's nothing. So Geek Set Podcast.
All right, nice.
Jamie?
And yeah, you guys can find me at Swiper_Prime on Twitch and YouTube. I'll actually be publishing a new series. I played Signals, which is a survival horror game. It's an indie survival horror, actually, and it is one of the most intriguing games that I probably ever played. I've spent about 13-ish hours playing it, and now probably about 5 hours just watching content about Signalis, because there's so many layers to it. So yeah, had a lot of fun with that series. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. And then over on Twitch, I'll be streaming more Indiana Jones and Metaphor when I get back to IPC, I should say. So yeah, they sort of look forward to that. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got going on. But yeah.
Great to hear.
Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button so that way it gets recommended to more people like yourself. And subscribe if you want notifications for our next upload or live stream. Since we're going to be going heavy on the anime coverage this year, we'll make sure that we serve you guys the best way that we can. So as always, very much so appreciate it. And keep watching anime, keep reading manga, and have a good one. See ya.
See ya.